All right. Thank you all for being here. It's a privilege to welcome you here at EPFL for the second International Open Source LLM Builders Summit. I actually wasn't here for the first one this past summer, but I heard it was a real hoot. And so we decided that, well, we just had to do it again. And in reality, I think it's a great idea, especially as things are accelerating, models continue to improve, and so many different groups kind of jump into open model development. I think it's quite important that, maybe once a year, every 6 months, many of those players come together, discuss, what they're doing, how they're trying to shape the area, and, share experiences and think about ways in which, they can work together for the future as well. As I see Thomas Schultes is here, and as we often discuss about, what the next generation of models look like, as we increase capacity 10x more, well, all of a sudden we're going to start putting a lot of pressure on the infrastructures that we have, need to build even larger ones, and potentially need to work together even more in order to actually leverage those resources. So I think it's already great that we're coming together here in these environments to start discussing how to do that better. And really excited to have a lot of colleagues from around the world, definitely many from here in Europe, but also from the US and from Asia, come and discuss these topics jointly. So I guess Federico, who has been kind of the point person for you here, along with Arnaud from the ETH AI Center, I do want to take a second to highlight the work that they've done in putting this together. So maybe we can give them a quick round of applause right at the top. They have prepared a tremendous program, both to highlight some of the experiences that many different groups have had in building over the last year, as well as sessions in the afternoon on discussing how we can work together for an even larger open models future. So on that note, I'll let Federico come, give a bit of introduction for the motivation and the program for today, and then we'll kind of get rolling. So thanks so much for being here.
It's so good to see all of you here today. I don't want to take too much time from the speakers because we already have a dense agenda. And but yeah, as Antoine mentioned, like why we're here today, for the need of more collaborations. We had like a very first successful meeting in July, and we heard a lot of talks, and everybody had this idea, this vision of a democratic AI model, multilingual, multicultural. And so we realized that maybe like an event where we share progress and achievements is just the first layer of like a longer path. And we can use these meetings really to start reasoning about like the fact that we could collaborate all together to get to maybe like what can be like a major international collaboration. So if we all have the same objective, the question is, can we run together? And this is the main question we want to address today. So is this something that we want to do? Is this something that we could do? And if yes, how? Now, luckily, we don't have maybe to reinvent the wheel, but we can take some lessons from history. Nowadays, AI is a very new disruptive concept, both in science and technology. When we look back 100 years, so there was also a bunch of very smart people that were discussing a new concept that was like quantum mechanics. And they developed some ideas that lead to nuclear physics, particle physics, and concepts and theorems that, in order to be proved experimentally, they needed like international collaborations, a massive shared infrastructure, and everything has to be built on the concept of open science. And 100 years later, we have like the CERN, which is really like probably in the world the major representation of like a successful international collaboration. And this is the cue for the first speaker today. Andreas Hooker is the spokesperson of Atlas, probably the most famous experiment at CERN. And he had like coordinator roles in Atlas. So he's gonna show us like some lessons that he learned on the way. We have a very dense agenda. So Andreas is gonna set the tone for the event. And then we have like presentations from open source models. We also have like some guests from open weight models from private companies. We are gonna have like at lunch the group picture. Let's see how long it's gonna take us to go downstairs and take a group picture and come back for lunch. And in the afternoon, we have like some calls for collaborative projects. So we have a representative from Alps, the supercomputer that we have in-house here in Switzerland. And we're also going to see open calls for the Euro HPC program. And the core of the event, of course, will be the discussion in the afternoon, but I'm going to give more details later. So Andreas, we're very honored to have you here. Please welcome him with a